Hello everyone, thanks for coming back to the channel. Today's discussion is fake beefs and diss tracks. So keep watching and I'll give you my thoughts on fake beefs and diss tracks after the break. Hi everyone. If you watch a lot of YouTube, you will have no doubt seen there have been a lot of videos uploaded with the title diss track or relating to some sort of beef. For those of you who don't know what a beef is an argument or where people are in dispute and bear a grudge. Let you just put a definition up in front of you so you can pause this if you want to. Have a grudge or start one with another person. And then there's a reference from the rapper 50 Cent. Beefs and confrontation were integral to the early days of and sort of existing days and current days of hip-hop culture, with very sort of strong machismo element to the culture, and taking on challenges or competitors face to face was very much central to the early days of hip-hop. And hip-hop, was born out of a replacement of the gang warfare that was widespread in New York in the 1970s. I've gone off there, just gone off at a tangent slightly, just to give you a bit of background. So that's where real beef came from, or real confrontation and diss tracks that came out of that sort of battling environment. What's happening now is something slightly different, so we'll talk about that. Just to give you a definition of a diss track, it's to insult one artist or one person on track. It used to be obviously on vinyl, now it's just digital music created and uploaded to YouTube and other sites. So that's what diss tracks are. So there's a lot of diss tracks at the moment. The origin of those wedded very much within sort of hardcore hip-hop community, if you like. Hip-hop or rap music in some senses, as it has become very mainstream, so it's not a niche music form anymore. That's why lots of people, it's very accessible and people feel that they can express themselves through rap music. Let me now relate that to YouTube. Big YouTubers have recently started, you're going to call it a fake beefs and arguments with each other. And I'm going to explain why they did that. Let's use the example of the Paul brothers. So on the left is Logan Paul, and his followers are called the Logan, I believe, and Jake Paul and his followers are called Jake Paulers, I think. And they started a fake beef with each other. And here's a track. I'm not going to play it because obviously, infringe their copyright. But here's a track, Logan Paul, from Logan Paul. It's about his brother. It's called "The Fall of Jake Paul," featuring Why Don't We. It's official video. And then in that, he insults his brother and says, that he's not as good as he is, etc., etc. Why are they doing this? They're brothers. They are close. If you've watched their vlogs, they do appear in each other's vlogs. They were both very built up large followings on Vine. If you remember Vine, the sort of 6-second video app that used to obviously wound up in the last sort of I think it's last year now. I've got a video on that, so I'll upload that either via the cards or in the description box. Anyway, they created a fake argument between each other. They uploaded diss tracks and told and set their followers against each other. You can see I'm using a tool called TubeBuddy to give you estimated revenues for particular videos. Here's Logan Paul's diss track of his brother Jake, and here's the estimated earnings. So you can see that this video with 63 million views has an approximate revenue, and it is an approximation of $96,000. So you can see the reason for these fake beefs and diss tracks. There's a lot of opportunity for the people involved in the quote-unquote beef to generate a lot of revenue for each other. So this, and just to put this in further context, YouTube has suffered a lot of advertisers removing their advertisements because they didn't want to be shown against inappropriate or sort of adult related content. So that meant that a lot of YouTubers, including the Paul Brothers, no doubt, and others that I'm going to mention in a few minutes, would have lost revenue from AdSense because advertisers have pulled out. So creating fake beefs and diss tracks is a good way of getting the views up and getting the revenues back up again. So that's the real reason behind these fake beefs. And you know, in all seriousness, I don't think, you know, Jake and Logan have a problem with each other. It's just they've just played the game, the YouTube game, to get more revenue, get more views, more subscribers. I think they're both on about 10 million subscribers now. So that's the real reason for the fake beefs and diss tracks. And it's something that was spotted by YouTubers in the UK, of which one of the most prominent is KSI. And this is KSI's channel, and KSI manufactured a beef with his own sort of group, a group that he pulled together of his friends called the Sidemen. And this is a video he uploaded just yesterday on returning to the Sidemen house, and he alludes in the commentary, I'm not going to play the video, he alludes into the commentary that it could be difficult for him to return because of the beef situation he's had. So him and his friends have launched diss tracks against each other, insulting each other, and obviously it's not really serious. It's something they've done. And these are all these people I'm referencing are very smart guys in that they know how to play the YouTube platform, and they know how to generate more revenue for themselves. Once again, I'm using a TubeBuddy, and that's got estimated revenue per video. So estimated revenue per video. So at the moment, this returning to the Sidemen house has an estimated revenue of $9,000. If I go back to KSI here, and I'll just show you some of his recent videos, that relate to, so KSI Little Boy, that was a diss track against WS2, a guy called Harry, and then there's another diss track with a collaboration with Ricegum, and that's a diss track against the Sidemen. And then he's reacted to a couple of diss tracks, and so his recent content has been not dominated, but yeah, as centered around the diss tracks and responding to diss tracks, and that's generated revenue, views, subscribers for him. So in the UK, they followed the model of the Paul brothers, if you like. KSI has followed the model of the Paul brothers, and it's generating revenues for him and for the Sidemen. So this is although it seems a bit, ridiculous to to create false arguments and false beefs. There's a very clear monetary advantage in doing so, because your followers will get more engaged and start commenting. Let's go back to one of his videos that's relevant for this. So returning to the Sidemen house, I won't play that. There's a very good business incentive to do so. So we've had KSA and the Sidemen in the UK, the Paul brothers in the US. Just two very good examples of using fake beefs and diss tracks. A real diss track, and I talked about these hip hop origins of fake beefs and diss tracks earlier on. If you really want to find one that is representative from hip hop culture, you search for a guy called Tim Dog, and this is adult content, so I'm not going to play it, and I don't want to infringe copyright also. This guy made one of the most successful, prominent, infamous tracks of diss tracks of all time. And it was a response to the growing popularity of NWA and the West Coast scene in 1991. So if you want to hear what a real diss track sounds like, not a fake one, then I suggest that track, or there's one called Step to Me. Either of those will give you a good understanding of what real diss tracks were like when they came out. And there's nothing glamorous about them really, because they were, although they were very hard hitting from a verbal point of view and the flow and everything else, and they could and did lead to violence on occasions. I'm not going to go off a tangent in sort of or hip hop wars in East Coast, West Coast, but you do your Googling, or if you have any knowledge of the culture, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So it seems like something quite trivial. These guys making up, I'm going back to the Paul brothers, let's do that. And these guys making up these fake beefs and then launching diss tracks against each other. But it has a very clear benefit in terms of generating views, subscribers, and increasing their revenues from YouTube. From a business perspective, I'm interested in the business side, and I've seen, you know, the responses and the results driven from these fake beefs. Two people I respect immensely within sort of business YouTube channels are obviously Gary Vaynerchuk, and here's Gary Vaynerchuk's channel, and Evan Carmichael. If I was to follow the Paul brothers or KSI and the Sidemen, I would launch a diss track against both of these. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. It's ridiculous. But that's the kind of play that has been made by big YouTubers in the entertainment space, such as the Paul brothers, KSI, Sidemen, etc. And it's paid dividends for them in terms of revenue generated, engagement, all around activity at a time when there's probably revenues have gone down because of advertisers pulling out of the YouTube platform, and also the fact that a lot of people are on vacation or holidays and not watching as much YouTube videos generally as they would be. These this fake drama and diss tracks has generated lots of views and watch time for all of these big YouTubers, so they're all winners in that respect. So I hope this discussion has been useful to you. As I say, I'm not going to record a diss track against Gary Vaynerchuk and Evan Carmichael. I admire their work they're doing and respect them immensely, which is probably not what you should say if you're going to do a diss track. Anyway, I hope you found this useful. Thank you for watching all the way through. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and click on one of the screenshots to watch another video from the channel. I look forward to speaking to you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.